America's listening to Fox News.
This Fox News update is presented by Freedom Dental of Fort Myers. Online at freedomdentalftmyers.com.
Leftists make you fret? Check out rightallalong.net, the new web home for 92.5 Fox News.
Hi, I'm Lori, Ford O'Connell's mom.
And I'm Sarah, Ford's wife. We're big believers in family and freedom. You may have seen Ford on Fox News fighting for conservatives. Well, let me tell you personally, no one will fight for you like Ford. I'm proud to call him my husband.
Hi, it's Ford. I'd be nowhere without my family. They've got my back, and I'll have yours as your next state representative, alongside our great governor. Vote Ford O'Connell on August 23rd. Paid for by Ford O'Connell, Republican for state representative.
When you enter a place of business, you're owed a legal duty, that the place of business is safe for you to shop in. Yet many times a normal day ends with injuries because that business breached that duty. Slip and falls where cleaning and maintenance were ignored. Falling boxes and items stacked too high. I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. If you suffered an injury at a place of business, our duty is to protect you after that harm. Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm. ForThePeople.com.
You'd think an Army veteran with a military career, including multiple combat deployments throughout the Middle East, would be a great American. And you'd be right. But Joe Vanderbosch also happens to be a great dentist. An Army veteran of 8 years, Dr. Joe now makes his home in Southwest Florida, where his wife Sarah grew up.
Hi, I'm Dr. Joseph Vanderbosch, Freedom Dental on Metro Parkway in Fort Myers. In the Army, I received extra training in order to provide dental care in virtually any condition. That's why I can manage many dental treatments without the need to refer to a specialist. I served my country proudly for 8 years. Now I want to serve you in your dental needs. Special discounts for former and active military without dental insurance.
Dr. Vanderbosch provides emergency care and is now accepting new patients for cleaning, extractions, crowns, implants, and more. Find them online at freedomdentalfortmyers.com. That's freedomdentalfortmyers.com. Dr. Joseph Vanderbosch. Go to freedomdentalfortmyers.com.
Back to school is just around the corner, and as you get the kids set up for success, make sure you've got a winning insurance plan with the protection you need in place for your home and auto. Hi, this is Brian Chapman at Chapman Insurance Group. When it comes to protecting your loved ones and property, consider CIG. Give my team an opportunity to quote your home, auto, business, or flood policy. At Chapman Insurance Group, we can save you money for the same or better coverage in Southwest Florida. Visit a location near you or online at cigflorida.com today.
Let's hear from Dr. Johnston at 596-BACK.
In my experience over the years, I have talked to so many patients that were told, you've got arthritis, there's nothing that can be done for your back, neck, or leg pain. You'll just have to live with it. Arthritis means inflammation in a joint, a very general word that doesn't help much at all. What's more important is to discover what is causing the inflammation. At Johnson Spinal Care 596-BACK, I have found that very often one of the underlying problems is nerve or joint compression. Non-surgical spinal decompression is a simple but ingenious treatment that may be the solution you've been looking for, the safest and newest approach with long-lasting healing. Spinal decompression therapy helps relieve pain from herniated discs, neuropathy, sciatica, and stenosis, removing nerve compression and allowing blood and nutrition to go back into the spinal joints to start real healing. What you do today affects your tomorrow. Let us help. Johnston Spinal Care. Call 596-BACK for a free telephone consultation. 596-BACK. 596-2225.
When you need a new roof, it pays to deal with the best. King Roofing has built their business on a solid foundation of honest appraisals, fair pricing, and the finest workmanship. Your insurance may be paying the bills, but you'll live with your choice of roofer for years, even decades to come. Choose Roofing Royalty, and you'll never regret it. In Southwest Florida, there's only one King. Call King Roofing today.
Every castle deserves a king.
What if you could build a six-figure retirement income in just 5 payments? You heard right. In just 5 payments, set up a six-figure retirement cash flow for as long as you live. There's a retirement crisis in America because the pension system of old has been raided and destroyed, and Social Security is already running out of money. Most Americans are shocked to find out they need over $2.5 million to have $100,000 in retirement. A new approach is required to solve this crisis. That's why this revolutionary 5-pay retirement program was released, allowing everyday Americans to use bank money to create a retirement cash flow without relying on Social Security or pensions. Even people who are on track have shifted money to this new strategy because it accelerates the amount they'll have at retirement or can allow them to stop working years sooner. So if you're over 50 and want a bigger, better retirement in just 5 payments, call Wealth Education Group now at 1-800-283-9595 to see if you qualify for this brand new program. Plus, as a free bonus, you'll get the 5-pay retirement guide and video. Call 800-283-9595. 1-800-283-9595. That's 1-800-283-9595.
This year, the road to returning conservative sanity to Washington runs through Cpac in Dallas. And Drew Steele is there, live on 92.5 Fox News.
And don't forget...
all along.
Sorry about that. Yeah, and don't forget about Mike Opelka. He's here as well. We don't want to forget about him as we turn his mic on.
That girly man rhino?
The girly man rhino is here, and we're always happy when that... what are you laughing at?
I love it. I'm putting that on a card.
Yeah. That's okay. You don't necessarily have to do that. Let's see, 239-479-5592. That is the Brett AC Talk and Text line. We stream live. DrewSteele.com is the website. Steele has 3 E's. If you want to watch the very program to which we speak.
3 E's.
And the 3 E's. Well, I have to say that because, now hold on, I also have to fix the camera because something happened to the camera. If you're watching at DrewSteele.com.
You're giving Doug a haircut.
Doug Collins is sitting in front of us right now, and I just want to make sure that, because he's very, I hate to bring this up, but he's very vain, and he's very concerned about how he looks, and so I want to make sure.
I love it.
Right,
what we see in others, we recognize in
it's one of those political little secrets that people don't know a lot about. So I just want to make sure that he looks. You look great. You look fantastic.
Wait, Drew. Could you put the blush on this a little bit?
It just. See, that's what I'm talking about. It's just
we had hair and makeup today. Guess which one I got?
Not
hair.
Drew got neither. So
that's right.
I love this guy.
Yeah. See, this is how you start the morning with Doug Collins and Mike Opelka. And you guys, this is how you do it. And by the way, John Cassio off camera, which is always a pleasure. So the sometimes, what do you do again at the station?
Digital overlord.
Program director? Oh, program
corporate shill.
My
he's
boss.
a corporate shill.
Okay, that's
emails people.
Sometimes I forget he's my boss, but that's okay. All right. How are you today, sir? It's been a lot of fun. I've seen you all over. I mean, you've been doing TV, you've been doing your radio show, you've been doing all kinds of great stuff. It's always fun to be at Cpac. And
he's got a big podcast.
Yes, he does. And so, the things that have been going on, one of the things we mentioned earlier is the fact that, and I just wanted to bring this up quickly. I hate that the country has to go through what we're going through right now, and it's awful to see. But maybe some people will finally wake up, Doug. Maybe they'll wake up now and understand what policies are destructive and which ones are not.
I think so. One of the things that I've always talked about when I was when dealing with Congress and being in Washington, and I was even on the state legislature, which, by the way, you want to talk about really where I think the change needs to take place. People need to realize that there's no longer that they don't just need to know who's president. They don't just need to know who their senator or governor is. They need to know who their county commissioners are, city councils. Yeah. We'll talk about that.
Right.
But one of the things that we've lost is that we talk about ideas, but what gets voted on is words on paper.
Right.
And I think this has become the disconnect. So people just they've looked at the videos, the TVs, the ads, this is what's happening. And then reality kicks in. And it's wait, you said this, but now I'm seeing gas prices or food prices, no baby formula, whatever. And so I think for the first point, you're having Democrats, Republicans, and all saying, okay, let's get back to governing. Wow, a shocking term for words. Instead of campaigning, we govern. Right. And I think that's so. People, I hope hopefully are. We're seeing that a little bit, but I will tell conservatives, Democrats are doing this too. They're not turning over, and so it's got to be a two-way street. Otherwise, they'll win what they want to win.
Yeah. And local, man.
Yes.
That is so important now more than ever, and especially when we see finally again. When I hate that things would have to happen in order for people to show up at this local school board. I mean, we didn't want it to be that drastic where people finally turn around and say, "Wait, this is what you've been doing. You've been doing this the whole time." Now, you show up and you realize it. It's out in the open, and it's a shame that has to be the case.
Don't be surprised to get mad when you tell them to stop because no one's told them to stop for 20 years.
Yeah.
The fascinating thing that happened during the commercials when we were setting up here was Doug was talking with the congressman about what's going on and what's really happening leading up to the midterms 95 days away, and how The Democrats are on the ground. They are boots on the ground, and we are commercials on air, and that's not going to be a good thing.
And it's not just this year. And what we've seen in Georgia, we've seen it in other states. And when I was the vice chair of the conference, I used to travel with all the Republican Party all across the country.
Yeah.
What I was noticing is a turnabout. We noticed it under Barack Obama. Let's go back to where it really started. Obama started that grassroots more movement that we saw digital-wise. We saw, that's where Act Blue came out of.
Yep.
And you talk about the funding mechanism for the Democratic Party, it's Act Blue. That is like a turning on a spigot. My last race in my congressional district, I was R30 district. A Democrat gets 20%, I get 80. It's done. I met my opponent one time. That was it.
Right.
He raised over $100,000 or more in this district. And this is a district in which 500, 600,000 will be competitive because it's a very rural Appalachia district. 100,000 plus that he raised online from people all over the country. This was Democrats giving money. Think about this. The opponent to Marjorie Taylor Greene in Georgia, Georgia 14, has no hope of winning. Not going to happen.
Right.
Okay? Has raised over $1 million plus $2 million. Wow. and think about this. And more than that's coming in. Then you get to the what I call grassroots, and I was explaining to where they're putting people in neighborhoods, apartment buildings, and others, and saying you're the precinct chair, you're the apartment chair, and they take it seriously. Some of them they're able actually to pay $500-$600 a month, maybe or more, or some are doing it for volunteer, and they get to know everybody in that apartment complex. So instead of them seeing the ad, as you said, or getting something else, they say, hey, well, Joe's told me that Susie, the Democrat's the best candidate. That's what you see.
Wow.
They're doing it.
Yeah, all politics is local. And I grew up south side of Chicago, so I saw dead people vote. And then
that was exciting, zombie.
Very. And then sometimes 3 or 4 times.
Drew
and
in the morning.
I moved. That's brutal.
There is some truth to that.
There we go. All right,
there
we
is
go.
some truth to that. I'm all right with that, Doug.
You should have been here yesterday morning at 6 o'clock.
Getting me black for the blush.
No
comment,
coffee
okay?
for me, but that's okay with the blush thing. Okay.
I know. It's very good. It's very. He's that way. But we mentioned that this is Newark politics. I lived in New York City for 20 plus years, and what we saw in Newark was they put the people on the streets with walking around money, and they made sure that leading up to elections and on election day there were buses taking people. They meet at the church and they take them to the polls, and there was money and cigarettes. To make sure people got to the vote. So they are boots on the ground, and we have to be better at that.
Well, and I think that's what, look, and again, for everybody out there and for any, liberals who like to listen in for op research, we say, look, not everybody does that. But they do legitimate, hey, let's go get you in the bus. Let's go take it. And it's in it, but it's what we're supposed to be doing. When did we lose sight that politics is supposed to be this hands-off approach? No. My dad, who was a Georgia State Trooper for 30-something years, told me the only thing he ever told me getting into politics, he said, make sure you ask people for their vote. And it's just so simple.
Right.
Everybody you shake their hand, you ask them for their vote.
Yeah.
And a good friend of mine one time, he said his philosophy was this. He shook a hand, said, will you vote for me? He said, well, I don't know. He said, well, I'll count that as a maybe. He said,
very nice.
Yeah, we can't be mad when someone's doing something that works and say, you're doing that, and not say, well, if it's working, maybe we should look at that.
Well, and I've also seen as conservatives, we also say, well, it's illegal. No, it's not. No, it's what's illegal is you stayed in bed, not doing anything, and griping about it, and calling in and talk to my show and everybody else's show saying, they're doing this wrong. No, get out and do something.
And what ends up happening is, you look at certain places, if you're looking at Southwest Florida, you look at the state of Florida, and there's a lot of times when people will say things like, for example, in our area, how well elections are run. They're great. The mail-in ballots, no problem. Everything is good. It's solid. Areas of the state of Florida have been doing a great job. Doesn't mean that the other side isn't trying to figure out ways to get into your area. It doesn't mean that they're giving up. It doesn't mean that they're so many times I've heard about the state of Florida and how, well, money's not going to be spent. The Governor DeSantis, this is a runaway election that there's nothing that they can do. They're going to find other places to spend money. I'm not really too sure about that.
Let me give you the cautionary tale of what you just described.
Thank you.
All right, very clear. Real quick, I'm going to combine 20 years into just a minute or two. Georgia. Now, most people don't realize this about Georgia. Everybody thinks of Georgia as Mississippi. We're not. We're far better, but that's a whole different issue.
He went there, everybody.
I got sidetracked. Okay, look. Okay. All I have to say is Ole Miss, Georgia. Okay.
Oh, boy. All right.
Go Dogs. Anyway, 20 years ago, right, we elected our first Republican governor since Reconstruction. First.
Wow.
Okay, 20.
Wow.
20 years ago, the Georgia Senate flipped for the first time since Reconstruction to Republican. Georgia Senate. The Georgia House was 2 more years in 2004 for the 2005 cycle. Okay, so I just framed this for you.
Right.
Georgia has had a Republican governor, who, by the way, Brian Kemp in Georgia is the first Republican who started as a Republican. Sonny Perdue and Nathan Deal both were Democrats who became Republicans.
Well, back to the Blue Dog era.
It is.
Zell Miller,
Zell Miller,
et
Sam
cetera.
Nunn's era.
Yeah, right.
Zell's a great friend. But anyway, so we get that. Then we move along. By 2008, Sonny Perdue wins in a landslide. We start taking almost every constitutional officer except 2. By 2010, we take only 2010.
Right.
We take every constitutional officer. We get up to 2014, supermajorities in the House and right at it in the Senate. We're now in 2022, in which redistricting just took place.
Right.
The redistricting process, the House willingly gave up almost 9 seats, Republican seats, because there was no way to draw them that was a Democrat. And now you're in a competitive seat in which, now 20 years later, 2 Democrat senators and competitive races for that. So all I'll tell you in Florida, great. I remember, love Florida. I remember 2000 in Florida.
Yeah.
Look how much has changed, but that's what can happen if you take your eye off the ball. Georgia, we took our eye off the ball.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, it shifts pretty quickly because they will focus and concentrate.
Devin Nunez, the man, the myth, the legend.
There he is.
Legend part.
Devin Nunes just walked by.
It's Cpac, so
you never know who's
anything
gonna be
can
walking by.
happen.
That's right.
Exactly right.
So,
but that's something to think about.
Yeah.
I mean, when you because I see it, you get complacent. Oh, DeSantis is going to run away with it. We got all this. Well, in Georgia, you had Nathan Deal. We're running away. We had supermajorities, and then all of a sudden, what you saw was in the midst of rubble. Of what even the Democrats were saying. I mean, they had their party chair. They were broke, literally broke.
Yeah.
This is 6 years ago. They just started rebuilding. You had a person like a Stacey Abrams who came in and just started, and that's where you see it.
All right. Wow. Some of the other things that are going on that we've been watching, Doug Collins joining us on Daybreak 92.5 Fox News, some of the stories. What's been like some of the big things as you've been walking around doing TV, you've been doing your show and other things that are going on here at Cpac? Like some of the big stories lately that people have been talking to you about and the big concerns that they have. Is it all just about the economy and inflation and everything?
Pretty much. I mean, that's what you're saying, which I think we've got to focus on better without, and it's making the case. The other thing, though, and I'm hearing, and it's a good thing and a bad thing, is this, Biden is so bad, we're going to win. Biden is so, and that's and so I think going off of just what we just got through talking about, yeah, the economy's bad. There's things out there that we can point to, but I think there's other things that we've got to focus on, and that is, and I had we were sitting down yesterday on one of my guests who came by, and this was the question: what is the Republican agenda for winning? Okay, I got a question for you.
Yeah, you have to stand for something. You can't just be against.
Exactly.
that guy.
So that was the question: was if Republicans are going to take the House in November? What are you going to do?
All right.
I mean, I know that McCarthy's got these groups working, and I've had several of them on talking about we're going to do this, but there's nothing translated out there for the voter. It shows the difference. Democrats are so desperate for a political victory, for a legislative victory, they'll tout any victory they have up there as a legislative win, even if nobody knows about it.
Right.
Yeah.
But we don't even have the real policies, and we're 90-something days out. And we're sitting here who do this all the time, and you're telling me the top 3 things for Republicans if they take the House, besides investigate Joe Biden? I'm going to tell you this. If that is the only agenda,
we're in trouble.
We're in trouble because I witnessed it. I sat right next to Jerry Nadler when they took the majority in 2019, and I lived through impeachment. I lived through the gun debate. I lived through it all, and all they wanted to do was get Donald Trump, and that didn't. Now we get Joe Biden, and now we see the demise again.
Right.
Have you gone through extensive therapy after having to sit next to Jerry Nadler for an protected period?
Yeah,
he's a scary man.
Well, as I always say, I've had it up here with Jerry.
Okay, mic drop moment.
His hand firmly on his stomach. Very nice.
Oh my God, I'm stealing.
Yeah, Nadler's an interesting individual. He is a creature of New York politics.
Creature, you got it right.
I mean, there was a book that was written on back in the Giuliani when he was running for the first time, and there was a book on New York politics. And here I am sitting, and I got it. I love old bookstores, and I just found this one. And I flipped over, and I saw Nadler reference, so I got it and I read it. I'm sitting next to him. I bring him the book. And he talked because it was him. He was at a cocktail party for one of the candidates that was going to run. Oh yeah, and he starts off in this long, oh yeah, I was there, and he starts talking about these races. He is so quirky it was so scary liberal. But you get him by himself. He was. I mean, that's how. Frankly, and I wrote this in my book. The way we used to beat him. He didn't pay attention to the hearings. He would sit there and read. They sent him stacks of paper that he would read the Jewish Times. He'd read everything. He'd sit there and read it. And so my lawyer side kicked in, and I would hear something, and so I would make point of order. And we would just rip him, and it got to the point where we were so good at it, I felt bad about. Yeah, well, never mind. I didn't feel bad, right. But that was it. But Jerry's a one of a kind.
He may be out though. He and
Carolyn Maloney. Oh yeah, that's who. Well, wow.
Yeah, I know. Well, should we play this?
Yeah, if you don't have headphones for him, so he can't hear it. But so Caroline Maloney, who
yesterday,
did the whole. Along with Jerry Nadler about Joe Biden and
they were on a debate because they're facing off. And they were being asked about whether or not they should actually. There's so many people coming by on Friday. Whether or not Biden should run, and she said no, he shouldn't. And so at that point, she got all kinds of phone calls. Everybody's phones were blowing up. And she had to do an apology yesterday on CNN.
Yeah. Mr. President, I apologize. I want you to run. I happen to think you won't be running, but when you run or if you run, I will be there 100%. You have deserved it. You are a great president, and thank you for everything you've done for my state and all the states and all the cities in America. Thank you, Mr. President.
Sorry.
That's sad.
That's a hostage tape.
Yeah. That's worse than a hostage tape. It's Caroline Maloney speaking more than 3 sentences together. Which is sort of impressive on its own right, although she was reading. She ought to apply for the White House press secretary's job.
Who
is it? Was it LeVar Burton? Who was the one who did Reading Rainbow?
Yep,
I think he's the next press secretary.
Could be.
Because that's all you have to do is sit there and read.
I think she's out.
She's bad.
I'm guessing she's out. Now you tell me, because you were inside.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
I think KGB is out. They're trying to find a spot for her, because even though she ticks 4 boxes, she can't do the job. They can't put Kirby in there. He can't replace a black gay immigrant woman with a white male,
especially in this administration, which that is so important.
Got 4 boxes.
I mean, I'm glad to see diversity, but competency also is part of diversity.
It starts with competency.
Yeah.
But I think that Kate Bedingfield unresigning last weekend and coming back and staying with the comm shop at the White House, I think she's going to slide into that role.
She may a little bit, but I think she doesn't want to stay there. I mean, your big names, you will see big names leave in the next 6 to 8 months, and Bedingfield probably will be one of them. But they've got to find a transition point, and I don't think they thought it was going to be this bad. But Peter Ducey just takes her to town every day, and it's like, do you not prepare for this? I mean, and the problem is they bring these briefing books in there, and it was like, and it's not the fact that you bring a briefing book. Sean Spicer, one time when I talked about this, Sean said, I had notes as well. He said, the problem is you ask a question, they turn in the book and read the wrong answer. What's your information about infrastructure? Well, today at the abortion clinics down there, whoa, wrong page. Flip this out. Nice. But that's what you're seeing.
But I think she's out before midterms.
I think Yellen is out by the end of the year.
Oh,
wow! That's another one. Put that down on the prediction
All right,
list.
just drop that before we go to break.
She had to take the block blow for inflation, if you remember. And I thought it was actually maybe by the end of the summer. And I'm still not. I don't think I may miss that one, but we'll see.
All right, we'll see. Doug Collins joining us on Daybreak 92.5 Fox News. By the way, just let everybody know to find you, to hear you. Go ahead.
Yeah, go to @RepDougCollins. Get me on Twitter, but you can go to the DougCollinsPodcast.com. You can find me anywhere the podcast go.
All right, my friend. We appreciate you.
Thank you, sir.
All right, let's take a break. It's Daybreak 92.5 Fox News live from Cpac 22, Texas. 92.5 Fox News, right all along.
Joe Biden's plan for America? Recycled leftovers. Time for some right thinking. 92.5 Fox News. Right all along.
We want to personally invite you to Duncan's Diamonds to see our beautiful selection of jewelry from the world's leading jewelry designers. Browse modern, vintage, and classic engagement ring styles. Looking for a ring that is truly unique and personal? Or you haven't found exactly what you're looking for? At Duncan's Diamonds, our personal jewelers, goldsmiths, and gemologists can create the perfect one-of-a-kind ring for you at Duncan's Diamonds. With our great financing and layaway plans, we make it easy for you. Visit Duncan's Diamonds today and leave confident you receive the highest quality at the best price. We have an unparalleled passion for bringing you the best in diamonds and jewelry. Best price guarantee, low monthly payments, and an unforgettable experience. All from Duncan's Diamonds. US 41, Gulf Coast Town Center, Naples at Mercado, and Port Charlotte Town Center.
I'm Tiffany Esposito, and I'm running to represent you in the Florida House. I was born and raised right here in Southwest Florida, and I've spent my professional career working to protect and grow our local businesses. I'm running because I want to ensure Florida remains the freest state in the nation. Thanks to Governor DeSantis, we've set the standard for freedom in America, but we must fight to keep it that way. I'm Tiffany Esposito. I'm pro-life, pro-gun, and a champion of the free market, and I will always fight to protect our freedoms. We've seen the impact of Biden's failed policies, from gas prices to the indoctrination of our students to a border crisis. Florida must remain the firewall between tyranny and individual liberty. I'll work to secure our borders, fix our public schools, and I'll keep Brandon's policies out of our free state. I'm Tiffany Esposito. I'm running for the Florida House to fight for the conservative principles that make Florida the greatest state in America, and I'm asking for your vote. Paid by Tiffany Esposito, Republican for Florida House District 77.
Need a seawall or boat dock? Call 844-WB-BUILT. I'm Jimmy Williamson of WB Williamson Brothers. WB represents the fourth generation of a tradition that began with our grandfather in 1967, a tradition that made the Williamson name synonymous with seawalls and docks. 2022 building code mandates improved seawall design, and WB is ready. Our seawalls are constructed of 5,000 PSI concrete and with the same composite rebar used in bridge construction. This allows us to offer the industry's only lifetime seawall structural warranty. Our docks are built from true marine timbers, stainless fasteners, and the strongest deck board in the industry, Wear Deck. It's the last deck board you will ever need. And for a limited time, sign with WB for a new seawall, and we will include at no cost a 5-foot wide, 20-foot long dock. And we will begin construction within 90 days. That's right, a lifetime seawall warranty, a free 20-foot boat dock, and we will start within 90 days. WB Williamson Brothers, 844-WB-BUILT.
It takes several sources of energy to bring you energy. There's natural gas, nuclear, solar, and something else. What led us to go green before it was fashionable and reduce our dependence on foreign oil back in 2001, all while standing up for the American values we hold dear. You must have a source of energy that's pretty darn special. Florida Power and Light.
Smart homeowners know that proper maintenance of their home's AC can save a bundle in the long run. Trust our comfort specialists at 1 Hour Air Conditioning and Heating to keep your AC running strong. A proactive tune-up can actually help your AC run more efficiently and save you money on your electric bill. Call 855-1-HOUR or visit onehourair.com.
Always on time, or you don't pay a time. Always on time, or you don't pay a time.
Independently owned and operated, licensed in their respective state or county.
Hey folks, can I let you in on a little secret, a little something to talk about? Sean Henderson here, bringing news that Walker's Marine is under new ownership. That's right, Mr. Walker sold the dealership to us at OneWater in March of 21. Over the last year, we've worked diligently to make buying or servicing your boat in Southwest Florida headache-free. In fact, we've made so much progress that our partners at Pursuit Boats and the good folks at Yamaha Outboard paid for this ad to inform you of our improvements. The new Walker's Marine has doubled staff in all of our service locations from Cape Coral to Marco Island. If you're looking to upgrade the old boat and trade her in for something new or used, give us a call. Find us at walkersmarine.com, select your nearest location, and come see us. Tons of boats in stock. We've got new boats, used boats, brokerage boats, consignment boats, and even a banana boat. Actually, I might have to check our banana boat inventory. Seriously, folks, we are here and better prepared than ever to assist with all of your boating needs. And hey, we're always open at walkersmarine.com. Again, that's walkersmarine.com.
It's back to school time, and we're asking, what's your favorite subject? At Sutherland Nissan Fort Myers and Sutherland Nissan Cape Coral, it's certified Save-Enomics. We've calculated our best selection of certified pre-owned vehicles at prices for every budget. Save thousands of dollars over buying a new vehicle, and you still get a 100,000-mile warranty, only at your #1 certified dealer. And right now, trade-in values are at an all-time high. So much, we're giving $8,000 over book value for your trade. Don't be late to class, or trade-in values could fall back to normal, and you miss out on thousands of dollars. Click SutherlandBuysIt.com right now to see how much you'll get for your car. Special announcement. New vehicles are arriving daily to Sutherland Nissan. Secure yours before it's too late. It all ends Monday. Get an A+ in Save-Enomics right now at Sutherland Nissan Fort Myers and Sutherland Nissan Cape Coral. Your used car megastore. Online at flnissan.com. If you don't shop Sutherland, you'll pay too much.
See dealer for details.
Byron Donalds, Southwest Florida's conservative congressman. Byron is standing up to the Washington radicals and taking on the woke left. Byron is working to secure the border, tackle inflation, and get spending under control. Here's Byron Donalds.
They still want to spend billions and billions and billions of dollars on this Green New Deal while inflation is through the roof, hurting every American, regardless of your party, regardless of your race, regardless of your socioeconomic status. This is the insanity on Capitol Hill.
Byron Donalds has been fighting against this insanity every day to keep Florida free. That's why President Donald Trump endorsed Byron Donalds and called him a defender of the Second Amendment, and that Byron is a supporter of America First policies. Byron Donalds, Southwest Florida's conservative congressman.
I'm Byron Donalds, and I approve this message.
Paid for and approved by Byron Donalds for Congress.
This break is sponsored by Cornerstone Builders. Give us the opportunity to wow you.
Wink News, traffic.
Use some caution this morning, Cape Coral drivers. There's a hit-and-run crash on Pine Island Road and Veterans Parkway, not causing a ton of traffic issues yet, but has the potential to do so. Also seeing some slowdowns on Tropicana Parkway going westbound from Nelson Road. Also northbound traffic on Nicholas Parkway going towards State Road 78. So just be aware of those slowdowns and use caution on the roadways. That's your up-to-the-minute traffic. I'm Rachel Cox-Rosen, Wink News.
Wink Weather Authority.
And our run of hot and humid weather continues into this afternoon as high temperatures get into the mid to lower 90s. We're going to see increasing cloud cover after a mostly sunny start and more scattered thunderstorms in today's forecast. Those showers should pretty much fizzle out once the sun sets, with only stray rain chances into late tonight, early tomorrow morning. And we rinse and repeat and do it all over again through this weekend, keeping an active weather pattern into next week with scattered thunderstorms day after day, most of which holding off until after lunchtime. I'm Wink News Weather Authority meteorologist Nash Rhodes.
Keeping it right here. We're 92.5 Fox News, and we've been right all along.
Imagine replacing your old kitchen with the kitchen of your dreams. Brand new custom-made cabinet doors. Drawer fronts, hand-finished by true craftsmen. Designer hardware, new hinges, and everything installed beautifully in less than a week, start to finish. Expensive? No. To the contrary, with refacing by Cornerstone, you'll save so much, we should really talk about your master bathroom too. Go for wow. Go for Cornerstone.
I'm Armor Persons, candidate for the Lee County School Board. I am proud to have the endorsement of America's Governor, Ron DeSantis. Our school district has lost its way. Liberals and their extreme leftist policies have taken over. They force transgender policies that allow boys to use girls' bathrooms and compete against them on the athletic fields. And they are pushing anti-American critical race theory ideology in the classroom. I'm Armor Persons, and I'm running for the school board to end this nonsense and put parents and taxpayers back in charge of our schools. And I have the support of Governor Ron DeSantis. Governor DeSantis endorsed me because he knows I am a conservative that will fight to empower parents, end political indoctrination in the classrooms, prioritize school safety, and rein in the out-of-control spending. I'm Armor Persons, and I'm asking for your vote on August 23rd so I can bring conservative policies to the Lee County School Board. Paid by Armor Persons for Lee County School Board, District 5.
Nature Valley is giving away back-to-school gear for free at the Retalk Shop on TikTok. Show how you reduce, reuse, or recycle with hashtag #RetalkForNature, and you could be served a code unlocking one free item.
What if you could build a 6-figure retirement income in just 5 payments? You heard right. In just 5 payments, set up a 6-figure retirement cash flow for as long as you live. There's a retirement crisis in America because the pension system of old has been raided and destroyed, and Social Security is already running out of money. Most Americans are shocked to find out they need over $2.5 million to have $100,000 in retirement. A new approach is required to solve this crisis. That's why this revolutionary 5-pay retirement program was released, allowing everyday Americans to use bank money to create a retirement cash flow without relying on Social Security or pensions. Even people who are on track have shifted money to this new strategy because it accelerates the amount they'll have at retirement or can allow them to stop working years sooner. So if you're over 50 and want a bigger, better retirement in just 5 payments, call Wealth Education Group now at 1-800-283-9595 to see if you qualify for this brand new program. Plus, as a free bonus, you'll get the 5-pay retirement guide and video. Call 800-283-9595. 1-800-283-9595. That's 1-800-283-9595.
Hello, folks. This is Representative Bob Rommel with another Florida update. This week, West Virginia Senator Joe Manchin caved to the pressure and agreed to the Democrats' massive spending bill. The Federal Reserve is rapidly raising interest rates to cool off inflation. But now Congress is going to spend hundreds of billions of dollars more, causing inflation to go even higher. This is complete nonsense. We the people know the biggest threat to American security is our national debt. Our senators and our president either don't get it, or it may be time to question their loyalty to America. Thankfully, we have a great governor, and we conservatives in the legislature will continue to do everything in our power to protect Florida, holding the line on state government spending, and never having a state income tax. In November, you must vote. America's counting on you. This was paid by me, Bob Rommel, Republican for State Representative.
If you're going to Dallas for Cpac, be sure to look for 92.5 Fox News. We'll be on the right side of the room, no matter which entrance you use. Now back to Drew Steele on Daybreak, live from Cpac.
Along with Mike Opelka, 239-479-5592 is the Brett AC Talking text line, streaming live, drewsteele.com, the website. Steele has 3 E's if you want to watch the program. Representative Andy Biggs is joining us right now from the Fighting Fifth in Arizona, and the one thing that we appreciate...
He has 2 G's.
Yeah,
he doesn't have 3 G's.
That's how big he is.
He has 2 G's.
Right, I have 3 E's, 2 G's. And we just appreciate the fact that, unlike Doug Collins, he just stepped up to the mic and wasn't worried about the camera or the blush or anything like that. He's looking great. That's what we. That's what we look. Right out of the box.
Coffee, we got guilted into no coffee for Doug.
Is that typical? I mean,
of Collins?
Yeah, making lots of demands.
Yeah, Collins is a high maintenance guy.
Yeah,
got to have this, got to have that.
I couldn't believe it. I was just, I thought I knew him. But,
well, I heard him do his auctioneer routine from about a mile away, and I said, "Oh, Collins is in."
And he hears from a mile away too. He hears it and it perks up. Next thing you know, he's screaming.
He'll be back here in just a minute.
So where do we start this morning? I don't know. Let's start with this. I had no idea that we can spend and tax our way out of inflation. It's funny. It's not what I was taught. It's not what I believe. But it's funny how there are some that think that. And I'm not kidding. I'm serious. They really do.
They do, and we're going to be voting on something next week that is just as bogus as it comes. But I actually had a friend correct one of my tweets yesterday, and he said, "Yeah, you actually can tax and spend your way out of inflation. It's called depression." So you can go right into that. And these guys. They don't even understand it. I mean, when Jay Powell stands up and says, there's a lot we don't understand about inflation, I'm like, really? I mean, that was Econ 101.
Right.
So these guys are dangerous. They're very dangerous.
Right. That they believe it. And
does it feel to you, Congressman, like these are flailing, desperate people because they know what's coming in November? That they're trying to rush everything through?
Yeah, so they're gonna look at they're running at a measured pace right now, off the cliff. But
doesn't feel like it.
Yeah, I know. But what I'm going to tell you is in November, after they get wiped out, there's going to be a lame duck for about 5-6 weeks, where they're going to really try to scream it through every nutty left wing thing, and dangerous as well. they're going to try to ram those through. So
Wow.
lots more to come.
Yeah.
Oh, thanks for that rosy outlook.
Yeah.
Not excited about that. It would be nice if one of the things that they would not ram through would be, again, ignoring what is happening along the border. You know better than anyone what's going on. I can't even... Not only can I not imagine what people there in the state of Arizona are seeing, physically, the movement of individuals, but the numbers that we are hearing about, and then how across the country we scream about, we are concerned about the protection of this nation, and how, I've said this before, I don't know how it's not an impeachable offense to do what this administration has been doing, which is ignoring the numbers and ignoring what's happening. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, Drew, it is outrageous, but I would say that it's not that they're ignoring the numbers. I think they're encouraging the numbers, and that to me is an impeachable offense.
Well, Biden said 2.5 years ago when he was campaigning that we could handle 2 million people a year coming across that border. It's on video.
Yeah, that's right.
But he's exceeded that.
Yeah, well, look, we brought in well over 1 million people, about 1.5 million people legally last year, and then you have 2.5 million people at least illegally coming in.
Yeah.
So not we've exceeded his expectations, but it is quite frankly BS that you can put a few hundred feet of fencing down at the Morelos Dam area in Yuma and say we're cleaning up the Trump mess. No. The mess started when you stopped building the fence on January 20th, 2021, when you got sworn in, and then you started slowly but surely, in some cases very swiftly, emasculating policies that in Yuma, Arizona, for all of 2020, 9,000 encounters at the border. You know, we are about 250,000 plus this year alone. And that doesn't count known gotaways. In places like Yuma and Rio Grande Valley, you're seeing things that you haven't seen before, where people were coming and just surrendering. Now you have a massive group of runners coming in, and they're bringing in drugs. You got cartel and criminal gang members. You got terrorist people coming in.
Right.
All that's happening, and I'm not even talking about the drugs and the fentanyl and all of that.
Right.
That's coming in at places which have traditionally been just people walk across. In Arizona, they walk across the river, which by that point is just a trickle.
Yeah.
And say, I give up, and it's hugely dangerous. Again, I'm using the word dangerous because what this administration has done is dangerous to our security, dangerous to our economy, and the border's bad.
Is it accurate to say that when they paused the building of the wall, that we were still paying for it? Those contractors had ironclad deals, so we actually were continuing to pay people not to do something?
Yes, it's kind of like paying bureaucrats on a regular basis, but yeah, we have.
See what you did there.
Yeah. So we actually have. I mean, sometime I could take you down there and I could show you place after place where there's all these bollard fencing that's just sitting there, and some of it's not welded together yet, so it's just the material that's sitting there. And then just down a little bit, you've got contractors, the mobile homes that they set up to do this,
right?
And they still come in, because if they come in, they get paid. They get paid.
So we're paying people not to work, not to build a wall as the security of the nation is crumbling, as the drugs are pouring across the border,
yes,
as the human trafficking continues. In every single case, you're right, it is impeachable on several levels, several positions, including the president down to at least the DHS.
Well, you got Mayorkas. And so this is the reason I introduced one last August on Mayorkas and signed on to another one from Bob Gibbs of Ohio, also the same subject, same reason, on the president, because what they've done to the border, and that was a year ago with what they had done, and now we're a year in, and it's every month's a new record.
Representative Andy Biggs joining us on Daybreak 92.5 Fox News. 2 G's, by the way, like me, 2 E's.
I'm just going to call him Double G.
Double G. Can we do that? Can we start that?
No.
Is that okay?
I think there's probably a rapper that's copyrighted that, fellas.
Probably.
I'm just saying.
And I don't want you involved in any kind of...
That's like the last thing is I need one more lawsuit.
That would be quite the confusing moment right there.
Big's got beef.
Is that the
with
rapping
Double G.
congressman? Yeah, okay, we don't want to do that. All right. So, the funny how elections work and how obviously the talk
Or
of...
don't.
No, or don't. We're going to get to that in just a second. I'm kind of I'm trying to make my way
Go
around
easy
to
on
that.
my state.
Yeah, I'm trying to make my way around to Arizona, just asking a couple of questions. First of all, the point to be made that the elections of 22 and what we've talked about this morning often about the fact that, look, the House may change in numbers that we would like to see, doesn't mean a hill of whatever you want to fill the hill with if you're not doing anything. What's your plan? And being bold, and how, unfortunately, like I've said before, I hate that we see what's going on in the country right now as the gift, quote unquote, of being able to say, do you see what the policies of the left look like now? Now do you understand the problem? And how nice that is. Except if we don't have people who are bold, who are willing to step into that space and say, not only do we have a plan, but we plan on executing the plan, and we also plan on possibly setting up maybe some committees of our own, and maybe we'll be able to subpoena some folks when we have that kind of control to get to the bottom of things like border security and some other things that we might have a question of.
Yeah, you're exactly right. So I will refer people to bigs.house.gov where you can link to my America First plan.
Two Gs.
Yeah, 2 Gs in there. Actually, more because you got Gov in there. Anyway, so we still got 3 G.
See where we've started.
I thought only Doug Collins would do something like that.
So what it does is because you have to have plans, and you have to, and my plan, which is different from mine from most others, is I talk about how you execute those plans.
Yeah.
You're going to have a president there. You better know how to leverage what you have, what you can work with. And it's going to be must-pass legislation, get stuff in there. But it's also exactly what you're talking about, oversight. So why in the world are we going to bring in Merrick Garland? Well, because he's been incompetent, not just incompetent, but willfully attacking Americans for political purposes.
He's been vindictive.
Yes.
I think that's an accurate term.
Yeah, I think so too. He's been PO'd that he's not sitting on the Supreme Court,
right?
Which is a hallelujah moment for every freedom-loving American. But so you do that, then you're going to need to bring in people for impeachment. You're going to have to do investigative committees. You Republicans have to show we can lead. And I know people say, but we're not nasty and vile like the Democrats. Look, the part and parcel to the whole thing that Democrats are doing is that it's done for political purposes instead of legitimate congressional legislative purposes.
Yep.
That is hugely different. And then and if we do not hold people accountable for trying to emasculate this country and destroy the institution of the United States Congress, which if that falls apart, then basically the Constitution of the country falls apart as well.
Yeah.
You've got to hold those people accountable, and if you do, then I think we can get back to what we would view as more normal times, where you actually are doing legislation that benefits all Americans instead of trying to basically butcher the Constitution and provide this anything but diversity, because what they're trying to do is basically divide this country,
right.
and we need to bring them together, and we can with action plans.
Yep.
Point of privilege.
Yes, sir.
I would like to ask just a bizarro question. I know that's he gets so nervous.
I could see this coming.
Yeah, I know.
From him.
like a herd of wet goats coming in the room.
Oh.
I just want to know personally from you, because you are so steeped in what you're doing and you are so totally into it. Where was the pivot point in your life when you said, I got to do this? I have to make sure not only I represent the people in my state, but I want to make sure I secure the blessings of liberty for ourselves and our posterity. Where was that moment in your life? Do you know?
Well, I would say there's several pivot points, but for me, I was raised in a politically active home that we were indoctrinated on freedom ideas. But then I went to a meeting, a Republican meeting in '86, and it was the biggest Republican district in the state. And you went, and these people were PO'd at each other, and media actually came out because we had so many precinct committeemen, and one side would stand up. you're an idiot, and we got to support the governor. And the other ones stand up and say, you're an idiot. We need to impeach the governor. And the governor was Republican, so this thing's going back and forth. And I said, well, maybe I should stay involved. And I got involved then at that grassroots level and stayed there until early 2000s.
And I'm so happy you said grassroots.
Yeah.
Because 36 years ago, you realized there was something there, and that lit a fire inside you. I think that's everybody who's going to school board meetings now needs to understand that this is the start, and it's also the vital point for us right now to claim what is this country.
Right.
And getting off the sidelines and getting in the game.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Don't be afraid to do it. Unless, of course, you're leftist. Then you might want to just
wasn't that weird of a
No,
question?
it really wasn't.
No, not
Sorry,
at all.
I'll work
It did
on
not
that.
deserve the illusion of wet goats streaming after me.
I'm sorry.
Hey, you want to talk about election integrity? That'd be kind of fun to just take a little pivot here.
Yeah.
How's Arizona doing? How are we doing over there? We good? How we doing with the elections now and everything that's been Maricopa? What?
Oh, man, there's so much to talk about. But I'll just leave it to say that there's one county that's still counting, and that's the same county that provided too few ballots in Republican precincts, too few Republican primary ballots in the Republican precincts, had to print them up while people were waiting in line after the closing of the polls. And, of course, many of those people left, so it suppressed the voter turnout on the Republican side. But the good news is what information we have, taking it as accurate, and that's a big take, but Republicans outvoted the Democrats in the primary, and independents broke to the Republican side, so that the total was roughly 650,000 to 450,000 Republicans to the Democrat side.
But will they congeal around one candidate now for governor?
Yeah, I'm hoping. So I've been reaching out, making phone calls around the state to some who preferred the other candidates, and I think, and I advised Ms. Lake, I said, there's some people that you might want to wait a few days before you call.
Yeah.
Let it cool down a little bit.
Let it cool down. But we have. I hope so. I think most Arizonans realize that the Democrats are running the most leftist slate in our history of candidates, and they are really they're more leftist than the leftists in Congress and in the White House.
Farther left than the squad?
Yeah, some of them are.
Wow.
Yeah, some of them are.
That's like declared Marxists who are out there somewhere.
Yeah, they won't use the term because it's loaded. But if you take what they say, you'd say Karl Marx seems like a more moderate fellow than some of these guys.
Yeah.
Well, I hope unity can be achieved.
Me too.
Because it's an important seat.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we've got to run looking at the time. First of all, here's your dollar. I bet him that he wouldn't use the word congeal this morning. So good for you. Of all the words. All right. There you go.
I thought you were giving me Trump bucks.
Trump bucks. All right. Enough of that. Biggs, 2 G's. Biggs.house.gov if you want to check out how we have a plan and how
America
we're going to
first.
execute plans. How important that I cannot tell you how. That makes me nuts. That makes me crazy. That's what I want. I want bold. I want, hey, look at when you elect certain ideologies, this is what you get. You don't want it, but this is what we're going to do moving forward. That's so important, and I feel like we don't talk about it enough. The execution of and what's coming and how to do that. So biggs.house.gov, and you'll see it there. Representative Andy Biggs joining us on Daybreak, 92.5 Fox News.
Thanks, guys.
The fighting fifth, as opposed to the others that they don't fight. They don't fight enough.
They don't fight
enough.
enough.
Yeah, that's all right. All right, it's Daybreak, 92.5 Fox News Live, Cpac, 22 Texas. Daybreak, 92.5 Fox News, right all along.
After Drew, it's Glenn Beck 9 till noon. You've come to the right place. 92.5 Fox News. Right all along.
Swinging a drive, Greenwell hits a long drive to right field. That ball is gone. Home run, Mike Greenwell.
This is Mike Greenwell. I grew up here in Lee County. From swimming in the Caloosahatchee River to playing baseball at North Fort Myers High School. This has and always will be my home. I was blessed to play Major League Baseball for the Boston Red Sox. But when my career ended, there was only one place I wanted to raise my family and build my business, right here in Lee County. You may have known me as a baseball player hitting home runs for the Red Sox, but I'm also a conservative and a businessman. Now I'm running for the Lee County Commission. This is Mike Greenwell. I'm running so I can fight for lower taxes, less government regulations, and to make sure Lee County remains the best place to live, work, and play.
Greenwell swings. This ball is well hit to right field, and that ball is out of here. Another home run for Mike Greenwell.
This is Mike Greenwell, and I'm ready to hit a home run for Lee County. Paid by Mike Greenwell, Republican, for Lee County Commissioner, District 5.
I'm Harvey Massey. Think about this for a moment. Pest control involves applying pesticides inside your home, whether needed or not. At Massey Services, we just don't do that. We prevent pests from getting inside your home so we won't have to control them later. Why settle for pest control when you can trust Massey's pest prevention? It's guaranteed or your money back. Massey Services. Expect more and get it.
Searching everywhere for great prices on appliances? No, you're not, because you have better things to do. Besides, Good Deals has it for less, and they have plenty of items in stock despite shortages everywhere else. Remember, Good Deals guarantees the lowest price on everything they sell. Find a lower price anywhere, and Jay will beat it. Guaranteed. Visit one of the showrooms in Fort Myers, Naples, and Cape Coral, or shop online at gooddealsappliances.com.
Good Deals Appliances. Have we got a deal for you?
Let's hear from Dr. Johnston at 596 Back.
Low back and neck pain have become two of the most significant medical problems in the United States today. In fact, they are the most common complaints presented to physicians. Unfortunately, the knee-jerk reaction to back pain has been anti-inflammatories, muscle relaxants, injections, and then surgery. Fortunately, this is changing and changing fast. Many doctors now recommend non-surgical treatments, and the most successful has been spinal decompression therapy. At Johnston Spinal Care 596 Back, I've made it my mission to get the word out about spinal decompression. Safer than medications, and it actually addresses the root of the problem. Sciatica, stenosis, neuropathy, herniated discs, arthritis are all conditions that respond very well to spinal decompression, with long-term results. Even failed back surgery patients can find relief from spinal decompression. Isn't it time to get active again? Call our Medicare-friendly office, Johnston Spinal Care, at 596 Back for a free telephone consultation. 596 Back. 596-2225.
This is Jada Langford Fleming. I spent 20 years in the classroom as a teacher, but walked away when our school district stopped putting children first, stopped respecting teachers, and forced us to indoctrinate our students with their liberal agendas. I'm running for Lee County School District to change that. I'm running to bring the education of our children back to the forefront of the district's priorities. And I am determined to change the current culture and put parents and taxpayers back in charge of our schools. I'm Jada Langford Fleming. I'm a 7th-generation Floridian, and this community means everything to me. I grew up on many of your TV screens advertising my parents' local car dealership. Remember, y'all spoken here. Well, that was me. Now I'm a mom and a businesswoman who's fed up with our school board and ready to make a change. I'm Jada Langford Fleming, and I am running to bring common sense conservative leadership to our school board, and I'd be honored to have your vote. Paid by Jada Langford Fleming for Lee County School Board, District 6.
Being involved in a legal dispute can leave you feeling like you've lost control. I'm Ellie Anajar from the law offices of Anajar and Levine. Understanding the law and the rules of evidence can mean the difference between winning or losing your case. If you are involved in a legal dispute and are not sure of your options, call the law offices of Anajar and Levine at 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733 for a free consultation. And take back control of your life.
Offices, Fort Myers and Naples.
You can't go wrong when you're getting it right. 92.5 WFSX Estero. Fox News. Right all along.
China doesn't want to talk to us anymore. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. It's suspending dialogue with the U.S. on issues from climate change to military relations to anti-drug measures, angry over House Speaker Nancy Pelosi's trip to Taiwan, which China considers its territory. China's also sanctioning her and her family.
Speaker Nancy Pelosi said in Tokyo in the last leg of her trip that China won't isolate Taiwan from officials like herself. And she said she's hoping to promote
peace in the Taiwan Straits and to have the status quo prevail.
But the Taiwan Strait is not peaceful. China stepped up live fire exercises after Pelosi's visit to Taiwan.
Fox's Jill Nato, a woman is in critical condition in Los Angeles. If she survives, she'll face charges for speeding through a red light, leading to a fiery multi-car crash that killed 6 people, including a baby and a pregnant mother.
We have some vehicles that are severely crushed. It almost looks like a war zone.
California Highway Patrol Officer Franco Pepe. All 50 Senate Democrats are now on board with a slimmed-down version of President Biden's agenda he says will reduce inflation.
Bring down family energy bills by an average of $500 a year.
But Republican Senator Bill Cassidy tells Fox,
we're going to be paying more in taxes according to the Joint Committee on Taxation. Congressional Budget Office says it doesn't decrease inflation. Everything they're saying, as best we can tell, is not true.
However, Democrats can pass the bill without any Republican support using a budget process they can't block. Later this hour, we'll get a key update on the economy, which is in recession if you base it on 2 straight quarters of GDP contraction. The report's expected to show a slowdown in hiring in July.
There's signs the labor market is starting to weaken as jobless claims are at an 8-month high, and there's talk of more layoffs in big companies like Tesla and Walmart.
Fox's Ashley Strohmeyer. Economists predict maybe 250,000 jobs were created, well below the monthly average this year. America's listening to Fox News.
Hey, this news update is presented by New South Window Solutions. Find them online at newsouthwindow.com.
Wink News, traffic.
Taking a look at I-75 and US 41 in Collier County, pretty good. Just some minor slowdowns. One going southbound toward Golden Gate Parkway on I-75 and a little bit of a northbound slowdown just north of the Laley Resort on US. Some spotty slowdowns on US 41 across the board in Lee County, but nothing significant to worry about. Looking at US 41 and I-75 in North Fort Myers going up into Charlotte County, really no complaints at all, as perfect as you could get. That's your up-to-the-minute traffic. I'm Rachel Cox-Rosen, Wink News.
Wink Weather Authority.
And our run of hot and humid weather continues into this afternoon as high temperatures get into the mid to lower 90s. We're going to see increasing cloud cover after a mostly sunny start and more scattered thunderstorms. In today's forecast, those showers should pretty much fizzle out once the sun sets, with only stray rain chances into late tonight, early tomorrow morning. And we rinse and repeat and do it all over again through this weekend, keeping an active weather pattern into next week with scattered thunderstorms day after day, most of which holding off until after lunchtime. I'm Wink News Weather Authority meteorologist Nash Rhodes.
Got friends and family living far away? Tell them to stream the best station yet at rightallalong.net, the online home of 92.5 Fox News.
Hi, this is Earl Ron, president of New South Window. New South is the Florida window factory. Our windows are made in Florida, for Florida homes, by Florida workers, because we understand Florida weather. With New South Windows, you don't have to sacrifice energy efficiency or storm protection. Our Energy Star rated windows and doors are made with impact and non-impact options, giving you the best of both worlds. New South Window, home of your ultimate Florida window.
Buy more, save more. Volume discounts up to 30%. Visit newsouthwindow.com.
Everyone recognizes the need for insurance on their home, car, even their life. But what about your retirement? The last year was a tough lesson for some who thought the market was a one-way trip higher. Talk to Bob Grace, president of Retirement by Design. Bob can show you how to put guardrails on your retirement, providing the income you need and the peace of mind you want. Call Retirement by Design at 249-8888. That's 249-8888. 249-8888.
Recently, a new client called me and started by saying, "Mr. Morgan, I really need your help, but I'm just a nobody." Those words stunned me, and I immediately called him back. And we're now helping him and his family after a terrible accident. I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Everybody who comes to our firm at their time of need is a somebody. I grew up poor, but my grandmother was like a queen to us. At Morgan & Morgan, our goal is to level the playing field for you and your family at your time of need. The insurance company has unlimited money and resources. You need a firm who can fight them toe-to-toe. For right at 30 years, we have fought them in courtrooms throughout America. Our results speak for themselves. And always remember this, everybody is a somebody and nobody is a nobody. Visit forthepeople.com to learn about our firm, Morgan & Morgan, for the people.
Injured? Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Power outages.
are common in Florida. Any homeowner who's experienced a lengthy power outage knows the value of a whole home standby generator. I'm Nathan, one of the owners at Generators by Design. We live here too, and we recognize that a reliable standby source of power is a tremendous comfort and possibly even a lifesaver. Despite what Mother Nature may bring, be confident knowing you'll have working lights, appliances, and of course, AC. At Generators by Design, we install fully automatic systems for your particular home and your specific needs. With over 40 combined years of experience in the electrical, gas, and generator business, we guarantee your satisfaction. We stand for the flag, love our great country, and care about our customers. Call us at 239-689-8786. I'll personally come out, meet you, and provide a free evaluation and estimate. Online at generatorsbydesign.com. That's generatorsbydesign.com. Generators by Design, where your power is our priority.
This year, the road to returning conservative sanity to Washington runs through Cpac in Dallas. And Drew Steele is there, live on 92.5 Fox News. Right, all along.
All right, 239-479-5592 is the Brett AC Talkin' text line. We stream live. DrewSteele.com is the website. Steele has 3 E's. Always have to remind you so you can watch Kash Patel do his thing, sitting right in front of us right now as we speak. Selling books, up on the stage. I mean, he does it all. He brings all kinds of joy and laughter to, how's that?
And knowledge.
And well, there's a lot of knowledge
the guy's
there too.
Got knowledge. He's not just fun. He's smart.
The knowledge part is the only disinformation part. Of
That's right. I forgot. You're the minister of disinformation.
All right. Well, we got to hit that right out of the gate. Yes. Let's do that. First of all, Fight with Cash. You got the plot against the king. I'm looking right there at your section. You got a spot there with the hold up. That's right. Hold it up. There it is. So everybody can see it. DrewSteele.com. There it is. And how's it going?
It's going great. Plot Against the King, #1 children's book in the country, thanks to guys like you. And we'll be here all weekend with me.
Wait a minute.
All day today, all day tomorrow.
You bumped Matt Walsh?
Children's book.
Kids book.
Kids book.
Oh, I thought
Amazon and Google shut it down.
Wow.
What?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wait. Give us the scoop. Go.
Yeah, no, they came in and it's so Plot Against the King is Russiagate for kids.
Right.
But adults love it too because of the artwork is awesome in this thing.
Right.
And so it's Hillary Quinton and Keeper Comey taken on by Duke Devin and a wizard named Cash on a quest for the truth. It's pretty awesome. And they were like, you know what they said? They go,
no.
You claimed in the book that the Steele dossier launched the Russiagate investigation. I was like, that's because it did.
Right.
And they were like, that's disinformation. they shut it down. Wow. For 2 weeks, they shut us down.
That can't be true, but it is.
That's how you know you're over the target.
That's right.
So,
cancellation equals correct
on a children's book.
That's right. You know. And audio, right? Isn't it on audio?
We just released audio this week. We put in a cool British dude's voice. It's like in the medieval times. It's people, parents love it, kids love it.
That's
great.
Great.
It's on Fire and Truth Social, plotagainsttheking.com.
Awesome.
Wow.
All right, lots to talk about.
Let's get into more disinformation.
Hey, what's the disinformation that's on your radar, Cash? You want to go there?
Disinformation du jour.
Yeah,
we should have a new segment.
Disinfo du jour.
Disinfo du jour. I'm going to create a hashtag on Truth Social.
Disinfo
so today,
du jour.
The thing that's bothering me.
All right.
I mean, okay, let's see. Today, let's go with Cheney.
We'll start with the first one because there's lots to go.
Oh, right. So Cheney. So I was chief of staff at DOD during January 6th, being the Secretary of Defense. It's been clearly established that the law is twofold for National Guard domestically. 1, presidential authorization must occur. 2, there must be a request by the local governing official, Mayor Bowser.
Right.
Capitol Police.
Right.
Days before Trump authorized in the Oval Office with me present with the SecDef up to 20,000 National Guardsmen and women. So we got the authorization. We immediately went to Mayor Bowser and Nancy Pelosi, and they said in writing, documents are now out there, their own documents on the internet on fightwithcash.com. No, we don't want any more National Guardsmen and women. Okay, so we couldn't deploy them. Liz Cheney, fast forward to last week, goes on Fox News, Brett Baer, and dodges the question and goes, actually, President Trump's own Secretary of Defense, Chris Miller, said the president didn't order the deployment of the National Guard. That's correct. I immediately jumped on and I said, thank you, Liz Cheney, for exonerating President Trump of the crime you've been trying to charge him with. It is unconstitutional and flat out illegal for a president to domestically order the deployment of either uniformed military.
Right.
And you know why she knows that?
Yeah.
Her father was Secretary of Defense under George Bush when he deployed the National Guard to Los Angeles for the Rodney King riots. And he did so pursuant to a presidential authorization and a request from Governor Wilson at the time.
Wow.
She knows it. She lied. But I'm lying. Not her. She's a truth teller.
Right. That is unreal.
I love it when you catch them. When you just get them
so
dead
good.
to rights.
Yeah.
It just feels so good.
Yeah.
We're just going to keep going with this, right, Cash?
Yeah,
I mean,
let's roll.
but I'm saying as far as the whole J6 committee and the farce, I mean, they're not going to stop. It's not going to end. And with the media behind them, and they're going to keep going with it. So the question becomes, like, how much more are we going to see on not only on their side, on what they're going to present, right? But how much are we going to be able to refute already, right down the line, the things that they've been presenting, you've been able to refute. Now, what's going to be the next shoe to drop?
Well, this is the only thing carrying them to the midterms, and
Right.
they're going to get crushed in the midterms, and they know that. So this is only going to go on for what, 3 more months?
Yeah.
95 days.
Well, whatever. See, this is why.
Not that I'm obsessed with it.
And so you're right. So they tried to do this because as you pointed out, first they said, Donald Trump didn't act. Then our testimonies finally came out, and they're like, oh, damn, it's actually under oath and it's documented, right? So they were like, now they're doing this dance where he's like, they didn't order it. And I go back to Americans and I'm like, hey, when in U.S. history did the President of the United States order the deployment of the military domestically? Can you tell me one time?
Right.
And everybody's like, oh. So I think what's going to happen next is more personal attacks. They're going to carry on, the prosecutions of Steve Bannon and champion that as somehow some like victory for justice.
Is that going to be the big connection, right? To try to do just that. Whoever and whatever they can find, like someone who is in front of a court, somebody who's been indicted, some way that they could connect the dot in some way, shape, or form to somebody. That's how they're going to go.
Insurrection.
Yeah.
And that's the ultimate narrative. They want to be able to say in the media, and the fake news will always help them. Donald Trump committed an insurrection. Donald Trump didn't. Here's the other one. Donald Trump didn't call the SecDef and me on January 6th. No, he didn't need to. He told us 2 days before, you've got what you need. I needed the calls from Bowser and Pelosi and the Capitol Police.
Right.
And the best way, for my days running Russiagate, I've always learned the best way to prove these people wrong is their own documents. So we got the Defense Department's memorandum. We got the Capitol Police memorandum. We got Bowser's letter. We put it all up on free for fightwithcash.com. All these documents, every Jan 6 document, every Durham Watch document is up there for free.
Right.
So read it.
Yeah.
And that's what we tell people. And I think that's the end narrative is they want the insurrection charge to stick in the media.
All right.
Well, the media's already stuck, but now they're leaning on Garland for indictments. Wow. And do you even smell an indictment? And the CNN headline is, well, now Trump's attorneys are talking with the DOJ.
Okay, well,
they
great.
called.
Great, go ahead.
I mean, look, you're talking to a guy who was the first person to be subpoenaed by the January 6th committee. Cost me basically $200,000 because these lunatics could have just asked, and I would have gladly voluntarily joined. And I've been calling for my transcript to be released publicly ever since, every day. And they're like, oh, they do this piecemeal release like Liz Cheney. Same with Chris Miller's test. Everybody's been calling for it. They don't want to release the whole thing because the whole thing's the truth. Right now, they can do the snippet narrative, i.e. the prosecution, right? And me as a former national security prosecutor and a former public defender, I was like, if I was Donald Trump's attorney, I'd call one witness in the insurrection charge, Liz Cheney. Press play, Fox News. Thank you for vindicating my client. I rest my case, Your Honor. It's the ultimate, demolition wrecking ball. So they'll get the narrative because Merrick Garland's a total partisan hack at DOJ, but they won't get the charge. They will not charge Donald Trump criminally with anything.
So how much is Cash Patel, by the way, joining us on Daybreak 92.5 Fox News? How much of I'm trying to think of the best way to put this. How much of the plot against the president, the whole Russia collusion hoax, how the formula played out, right? We've discussed this many times. The things to look at that they did that you can recognize now the next time it happens. How much of that has been plugged into this? For example, how many things have been said in front of cameras that behind the scenes in interviews it was a completely different conversation? Like it never happened like that. You know what I mean? At how things get funneled through the media and get reported, that gets picked up. The whole cycle of how Trump, the collusion hoax worked. How much of that is in J6?
So that's a great way to look at this. You can insert whatever subject you want in the sequencing, the fake news
Right,
that the Democrats have established.
And do me a favor, for those that are listening right now that have no idea what we're talking about, like let's kind of because this is important, because if you know, like we talked about before many times, like every time I see you, we talk about this. There's a formula. We know how they tried to do this whole Trump-Russia collusion hoax. The formula's there. So when you know the formula, it's like you now everything is open. Now your eyes are wide open to when they tried to do it again. So set it up of what they did during the Trump-Russia collusion hoax and the things that we just discussed, and then talk about the Jason.
Yeah. So here's what the radical left and the media do. One, anything that Donald Trump did, they say the opposite. Let's start Russiagate, right? Okay. Trump's a Russian agent. They put it out there. The fake news puts it out there. Then the Republicans start a righteous investigation, and we put out the truth. But half of America's already bought and sold on Donald Trump being a Russian agent, right? Yeah. Then we release information. Once we release the facts, they get their media partners to say, everything they're doing is disinformation. Don't listen to the Republicans or conservatives or Trump people. Right. Then when we defeat that narrative in the same investigation, Russiagate, right?
Right.
And we go out and put out the Nunes memo and things like that and put people on blast, they start their next one. So it's Russiagate, it's Ukraine impeachment, it's impeachment 2, it's Bountygate in Afghanistan, and now it's January 6th. It's rinse, repeat, the same thing, but they couldn't do it without the radical left. And where we are in the Jan 6 cycle is, okay, they started this hoax, this fraudulent investigation. We put out the truth.
Right.
Vis-a-vis Donald Trump's actions on January 6th and leading up to it. Now they're calling it us disinformation, and they've got 95 days to run out the wire, and then they'll come up with another charge. I don't know what the next one's going to be.
Right.
You know, Donald Trump and Kash Patel, secretly met to hijack American independence.
You did?
Yeah.
Wait a minute, that's news. Hold on. I had
That's
no
what we
idea
talked
that
about on
happened.
the phone yesterday. When
Wow.
Right.
Why has there been no justice for the 51 intelligence officials who validate all this stuff as
Great
legitimate
question.
Russian disinformation? 51 former why has there been nothing on
So
that?
as a former national security guy, I was talking to my old boss and friend Devin Nunes, and we put out a big show. I don't know when it was on Truth. It's coming out, whatever. We talked about this because he was chairman of House Intel,
Right.
And he had a brilliant idea. Every one of the guys that signed the letter, and remember, it wasn't the minions. 2 secretaries of defense, 1 director of the CIA, 1 director of the NSA, and so on, and their deputies. You go in and you revoke their security clearance because these guys are out there making millions consulting with contracting and firms that rely on their expertise.
Pull the money plug on them. That's
Pull it.
perfect.
But and that's the answer. And I hope when the Republicans take over Congress, they at least start that process because they have a lot of power.
Who pulls that plug?
Ultimately, it's the director of national intelligence has the unilateral authority
The
to do it.
DNI can do it.
But that's a political position. But here's what you get cheeky, right, and smart. You fence in money at Congress to say to these agencies, "Oh, you're holding Panetta's clearance? Well, you're not getting your $1 billion for your XYZ program until you pull it."
So the purse strings will
always
ultimately
wins.
pull the
And we
plug.
need Republicans in Congress to do that.
95 days, people.
Yeah, and again, goes back to the seems to be the narrative of the day, which is, man, you need bold people out there elected. Just because in 22 you have this taking of the House doesn't mean they're going to do anything. Just because it's an R after their name doesn't mean anything if nothing's going to happen. If committees aren't going to be set up, not for political reasons, but to investigate, we're going to have actual subpoenas out there to find out what actually is happening. And then to be able to move that forward. And I don't know. I hope so, but we have to keep an eye on that.
And we got to press our Republicans who are elected in Congress. We got to hold them to the fire because you guys now know the power of constitutional oversight.
Yeah.
You can have an unselect committee in January 6th, or you can have a Russiagate-style investigation.
Yeah.
And once we take judiciary and intel again and all that, we are going to need strong leaders. We're going to need guys like Jordan and Gates and Perry and all these guys and Doug Collins to just run hard. You saw Senator Grassley, again, running hard on the whistleblower program and trouncing on Chris Wray's quote-unquote accountability at the FBI.
Yeah. Oh, and speaking of Chris Wray, being up on Capitol Hill, what do you make? So tell me your thoughts. All right, so for those that don't know, and I got to play a little bit here. Take these headphones because I want to play the clip from yesterday. a little bit of the audio of the exchange with Ted Cruz. So I want you to check this out. This is the exchange Ted Cruz had with Christopher Wray yesterday. Had to do with in Michigan, Gretchen Whitmer and the FBI and the involvement of this plot to kidnap her, and then what happened with the FBI and the infiltration of and questions of this, and so just a little bit of this exchange. Check this out.
In Michigan, that case ended up an absolute debacle where the 4 people who went to trial, 2 of them were acquitted, 2 received mistrials. None of them were convicted on even a single charge, and the basis of the defense was entrapment, that the FBI, that paid enforcements for the FBI, had suggested and had incited the conduct. Let me ask you, how many FBI agents were disciplined or reprimanded after that disastrous case and the misconduct that led to every defendant being acquitted or having a mistrial on every charge?
Senator, I can't comment on a personnel matter. I can tell you that case, as I understand it, is now pending a retrial, as I understand it.
Well, the special agent in charge of that case has now been sent to D.C., to the Washington, D.C. office, and now leads the investigation regarding January 6th. Is that correct?
That doesn't sound right to me.
That does not sound right. The name of the individual is Stephen D'Antuono. He was run out of the FBI Detroit field office. And by the way, I will point out that the lead investigator...
All right, well, let me stop there. So there's a little bit of the conversation with Christopher Wray. All right, so let's talk about this. Christopher Wray is...
a disaster.
A disaster. Okay, that's one way to put it. I was thinking of something a little harsher. A disaster. But doesn't that call attention to something that, again, we've talked about many times? Man, when you get... Trump 24 gets in to office. You've got, hopefully, the Senate. You've got the House. Man, you got a clean house.
You do.
All the way down the line. That's another example, Cash, of what we've talked about many times. How somebody, clearly, who shouldn't be doing what they're doing for the description that Ted Cruz was giving about questions about integrity and other things that were going on and arrests and the like. But then ultimately, how does Christopher Wray not know of all the things that are happening that the FBI is involved with, right? And all the cases that you've got, all the things that you're looking into, there are ones that are particularly bigger than others, let's just say. So how do you not know subordinates? How do you not know who's involved? How is it that you move, and he was just describing that, from that case, the Gretchen Whitmer, the case there, moving to the J6 committee now, and somebody who was clearly biased against the former President Trump? How does that happen, and how does he not know about it?
He knows about it. He's dodging it.
Right.
He's like, oh, I can't comment on personnel. It's not that he can't. It's that he won't. And look,
Right.
as a national security prosecutor, I work with the FBI all over the world.
Yeah.
Great. We those guys, the rank and file guys, are kick ass. These political hacks, like the one that Ted Cruz highlighted.
Yeah.
This is the same thing in Chuck Grassley's whistleblower, same line of questioning on the Hunter Biden laptop, where we found out that the lead investigator in that case was promoted because of his false claim as a special agent in charge of the Hunter Biden investigation that it was Russian disinformation. He labeled it and shut that investigation down. His name is Auten, A-U-T-N.
Right.
It's now he's also been moved, quote unquote. And here's what happened. When I caught Peter Strzok having his extramarital affair during the Russiagate investigation, I put it on blast for the world to see because it's unethical and maybe unlawful.
Right.
He got reassigned to human resources.
Ah.
I've always said in government, this is why people hate the FBI and DOJ right now. If you want a promotion, screw up. If you want a big promotion, screw up really big. Look at these guys in question. D'Antuono, the FBI agent, Thibault over in the D.C. field office, this guy Auten, all these 3 guys,
Right.
Whitmer, Russiagate, Hunter Biden, and Jan 6.
Right.
And they're all still working on them.
Right.
After being caught, not being caught making a mistake, I misinterviewed this witness, and no, doctoring information, falsely labeling evidence.
Right.
These are serious crimes that when I was a public defender, I'd have to defend people who did this.
Right.
These guys get promotions.
Right.
And that's why you're right. The personnel matters. And, if President Trump runs and decides to win, I will make it my mission to make sure the personnel is right. I'm not worried about who we're going to put in. We've got the bench.
Right.
I'm more worried about who we're keeping out.
Right. Exactly. Who you're keeping out, who may be there.
The next Chris Wray.
Yeah, exactly. And, all of these things that we continue to watch and are so important in the discussion here. And even the fact that, and I'm going there and, you can comment on this or not, but when you hear about the Whitmer case and the FBI's involvement, and then the suggestion that they were nowhere near January 6th, that there was nothing, no involvement there whatsoever. It couldn't happen. Absolutely an outrageous statement to make. How dare you say something like that? And the suggestion that the people that were being disruptive and damaging and all the things that we witnessed may have been people that weren't exactly, let's just say, Trump supporters or conservatives, right? That you're not allowed to say that. But yet we have plenty of examples of how this is happening. Like, it's happened. So don't tell us that it's an impossible thing to say, or I'm going to take you off of social media.
Oh, yeah, never in America, right?
No,
right?
No, never. No, let's call it what it is. And ultimately that has to be stopped.
Yeah, and the biggest example for me as a former, as a public defender and as a federal prosecutor, I tried 60 criminal jury trials to verdict.
Yeah.
That's more than most people do in a lifetime.
Yeah.
And what that taught me was the value of due process and how to make sure we do it and why America's the greatest.
Yeah.
Now, fast forward to January 6th, I've got 80 people who are still in solitary confinement or detention, most of which committed a misdemeanor at worst.
Right.
And don't have a criminal history. In what century in the United States of America did we not give bond to 60-year-old grandmothers who have little or no criminal history charged with misdemeanors? Then fast forward, this two-tier system of justice on full blast. Stephen Colbert's crew goes in there, into the Capitol, commits a crime. The same ones that they charged most of Jan 6 people with. The Capitol Police arrests them, rightly so. They did the right job.
Right.
Referred to the D.C. U.S. Attorney's Office. They declined to prosecute.
Yeah.
Not even.
Can't even believe
Not
it.
even like, okay, let's give you a deferred prosecution. Yes, you broke the law. You're gonna have to pay for a fine. No, just get out of jail free card. Here you go.
Right.
This two-tier system of justice is what pisses off Americans the most. And me, as a former trial guy, as a former prosecutor defender, where is the hypocrites on the left who used to be the bastions of due process now? It's just a deafening silence from them. The public defender community is a joke.
Yeah. All right, we got to take a break. Fight with Cash. What?
I have one more quick question for Cash.
Quick.
You know you're on a watch list now because of the shirt you're wearing.
Oh, yeah, fightwithcash.com and
That's
the
right.
flag. But now that you guys have associated with me, you're on a watch list.
Yeah. Oh, no. Oh, man. All right, he's got to go sell books.
My name is a man to reckon with. It's not Mike Opelka. I love the flag in the back.
Fight with Cash, and tell everybody where to go get the book. And
fightwithcash.com, my foundation. We're helping everybody raise money who needs legal aid, who needs summer camp assistance tuition programs, and fightwithcash.com also has the book, The Plot Against the King.
Wow, he signed it and everything.
Yeah. Come by, see us. We're here all weekend in Dallas, baby.
Yep. All right.
Thank you.
Cash
Thanks,
Patel
guys.
joining us on Daybreak 92.5 Fox News Live, Cpac 22, Texas. Right all along.
Got him right.
It's all right here at 92.5 Fox News. We've been right all along.
Did you know people drive from all over Florida to save money on diamonds?
Hi, I'm Stuart Duncan from Duncan's Diamonds, and we have thousands of diamonds, all shapes, all sizes, half carat to 10 carats. Because we are direct diamond importers, we own one of the largest selections of amazing diamonds here in the United States.
And offer prices lower than other jewelers, where overhead cost is very high.
We want you to find that diamond that you really love today and save.
Duncan's Diamonds hand-picks diamonds from diamond cutters all over the world to ensure you get the best.
Best prices guaranteed, low monthly payments, a spectacular gift from Duncan's Diamonds.
And at Duncan's Diamonds, we have spectacular financing and layaway plans, including no or low interest.
We will not be undersold by anyone, anytime, anywhere, and you can count on that.
Duncan's Diamonds. US 41, Gulf Coast Town Center, Naples at Mercado, and Port Charlotte Town Center.
Plumbing nerds, we're just smarter now, you've heard. Give us a call, we'll fix you up. Anytime, day or night, if your plumbing's just not right, give us a call, we'll fix you up. Plumbing nerds. We're just smarter now, you've heard. Give us a call, we'll fix you up. If your drains are needed cleaned and your toilet's acting weird, give us a call, we'll fix you up. Plumbing Nerds, smarter plumbing solutions. Oh yeah.
This is Kevin Carnes, your Lee County Clerk of Courts and Comptroller. One of the greatest honors of my life was getting the call that America's Governor Ron DeSantis had appointed me to the position of Clerk of Courts. Governor DeSantis knew my 15 years of experience working in the clerk's office, along with my conservative principles, made me the right choice to be your Clerk of Courts. I've worked hard to not let him or you down. Now I'm running to continue serving in that capacity. I'm Kevin Carnes, and as your Clerk of Courts and Comptroller, I am dedicated to ensuring your government works transparently and you have open access to government records. I also stand as a check and balance to hold our local government accountable. As a lifelong conservative, you can trust me to make the best decisions with your tax dollars and always uphold our constitutional liberties. I'm Kevin Carnes, and I'm asking for your vote so I can keep working as your Clerk of Courts. After all, Governor DeSantis picked me, you should too. Paid by Kevin Carnes, Republican for Lee County Clerk of Courts.
It's back to school time, and we're asking, what's your favorite subject? At Sutherland Nissan Fort Myers and Sutherland Nissan Cape Coral, it's certified save economics. We've calculated our best selection of certified pre-owned vehicles at prices for every budget. Save thousands of dollars over buying a new vehicle, and you still get a 100,000-mile warranty, only at your #1 certified dealer. And right now, trade-in values are at an all-time high. So much, we're giving $8,000 over book value for your trade. Don't be late to class, or trade-in values could fall back to normal, and you miss out on thousands of dollars. Click SutherlandBuysIt.com right now to see how much you'll get for your car. Special announcement. New vehicles are arriving daily to Sutherland Nissan. Secure yours before it's too late. It all ends Monday. Get an A+ in Save-onomics right now at Sutherland Nissan Fort Myers and Sutherland Nissan Cape Coral. Your used car megastore. Online at flnissan.com. If you don't shop Sutherland, you'll pay too much.
See dealer for details.
My name is Sam Fisher. I'm a father, businessman, and conservative candidate for the Lee County School Board. I am also endorsed by Governor Ron DeSantis. Governor DeSantis endorsed me because he knows I'm a conservative fighter that will empower parents and put our children back at the forefront of the district's priorities. For years, our school board has ignored parents and taxpayers, pushed a radical leftist agenda, and wasted our tax dollars. Board members spend more time fighting amongst themselves than they do focusing on the education of our children. It's time for a change. I'm Sam Fisher, and I'm ready to make a difference on the Lee County School Board. I'll put an end to woke liberal policies. I'll get the $2 billion budget under control, and I'll make our schools safer. It's time to bring conservative policies to the school board, and that's why Governor DeSantis endorsed me. I'm Sam Fisher. I'm proud to have the support of Governor Ron DeSantis, and I would be honored to have your vote. Paid by Sam Fisher for Lee County School Board District 1.
What if you could build a 6-figure retirement income in just 5 payments? You heard right. In just 5 payments, set up a 6-figure retirement cash flow for as long as you live. There's a retirement crisis in America because the pension system of old has been raided and destroyed, and Social Security is already running out of money. Most Americans are shocked to find out they need over $2.5 million to have $100,000 in retirement. A new approach is required to solve this crisis. That's why this revolutionary 5-pay retirement program was released, allowing everyday Americans to use bank money to create a retirement cash flow without relying on Social Security or pensions. Even people who are on track have shifted money to this new strategy because it accelerates the amount they'll have at retirement or can allow them to stop working years sooner. So if you're over 50 and want a bigger, better retirement in just 5 payments, call Wealth Education Group now at 1-800-283-9595 to see if you qualify for this brand new program. Plus, as a free bonus, you'll get the 5-pay retirement guide and video. Call 800-283-9595. 1-800-283-9595. That's 1-800-283-9595.
This update is presented by Stevie Tomato Sports Page in Fort Myers, Cape Coral, and Naples.
Wink News, traffic.
Taking a look at I-75 and US 41 in Collier County, pretty good. Just some minor slowdowns. One going southbound toward Golden Gate Parkway on I-75, and a little bit of a northbound slowdown just north of the Lely Resort on US. Some spotty slowdowns on US 41 across the board in Lee County, but nothing significant to worry about. Looking at US 41 and I-75 in North Fort Myers going up into Charlotte County, really no complaints at all, as perfect as you could get. That's your up-to-the-minute traffic. I'm Rachel Cox-Rosen, Wink News.
Wink Weather Authority.
And our run of hot and humid weather continues into this afternoon as high temperatures get into the mid to lower 90s. We're going to see increasing cloud cover after a mostly sunny start and more scattered thunderstorms. In today's forecast, those showers should pretty much fizzle out once the sun sets, with only stray rain chances into late tonight, early tomorrow morning. And we rinse and repeat and do it all over again through this weekend, keeping an active weather pattern into next week with scattered thunderstorms day after day, most of which holding off until after lunchtime. I'm Wink News Weather Authority meteorologist Nash Rhodes.
The news you need, the host you trust, getting it right all day and all night. 92.5 Fox News. Right all along.
Trust. It's the rock-solid foundation of Moran Wealth Management. Over 40 years ago, they began advising clients on ways to help meet their financial goals. 4 decades later, we've helped many reach their goals of providing for themselves, their families, and future generations. CEO Tom Moran has assembled an impressive team of professionals, each committed to the same core concept. Tom is recognized by Barron's as a Hall of Fame advisor. To be named a Hall of Fame advisor, the advisor has to have been ranked by Barron's consecutively for the last 10 years in any of their rankings. Let us earn your trust. Call 239-920-4440 or visit moranwm.com. Barron's rankings are based on data provided by thousands of advisors. Factors included in the rankings were assets under management, revenue produced for the firm, regulatory record, length of service, quality of practice, and client retention. Investment products and services are offered through Wells Fargo Advisors Financial Network, LLC, WFAFN, member SIPC. Moran Wealth Management is a separate entity from WFAFN.
Hi, this is Lindsay Scott Garza. Growing up, my dad, retired Lee County Sheriff Mike Scott, instilled in me a passion for public service and a dedication to this community. He taught me how the justice system affects our community, which inspired me to go to law school and still motivates me as an attorney today. I'm running for county judge because I want to ensure our constitutional liberties are always protected and the rule of law is upheld. I will always be fair, impartial, and apply the law equally. I'm Lindsay Scott Garza. As a third-generation native who is raising my own family here in Lee County, my heart, soul, and future revolves around this community. As an attorney, I have spent countless hours in the courtroom. This experience has prepared me to take this next step and serve as a Lee County judge, where the Constitution will always be my guiding light. I'm Lindsay Scott Garza. I'm running for Lee County Judge, and I would be honored to earn your vote so that I may continue to serve our community. Paid by Lindsay Scott Garza for Lee County Judge Group 4.
Let's hear from Dr. Johnston at 596-BACK.
In my experience over the years, I have talked to so many patients that were told, you've got arthritis, there's nothing that can be done for your back, neck, or leg pain. You'll just have to live with it. Arthritis means inflammation in a joint, a very general word that doesn't help much at all. What's more important is to discover what is causing the inflammation. At Johnson Spinal Care 596-BACK, I have found that very often one of the underlying problems is nerve or joint compression. Non-surgical spinal decompression is a simple but ingenious treatment that may be the solution you've been looking for, the safest and newest approach with long-lasting healing. Spinal decompression therapy helps relieve pain from herniated discs, neuropathy, sciatica, and stenosis, removing nerve compression and allowing blood and nutrition to go back into the spinal joints to start real healing. What you do today affects your tomorrow. Let us help. Johnston Spinal Care. Call 596-BACK for a free telephone consultation. 596-BACK. 596-2225.
Here's the lowdown on lowering bad cholesterol from Leqvio. Lowering bad cholesterol is hard, but you could do hard. You lived through 5 fad diets, 11 sleep training nights, 9 mediocre middle school recitals, 1 heart attack. And with Leqvio, you can lower your bad cholesterol and keep it low with 2 doses a year after 2 starter doses. Prescription Leqvio and glycerin is given by a doctor for people with known heart disease on a statin with diet who need more help lowering bad cholesterol. Common side effects are injection site reaction, joint pain, urinary tract infection, diarrhea, chest cold, pain in legs or arms, and shortness of breath.
Results may vary. Learn more at Leqvio.com or call 1-833-537-8462. Ask your doctor about Leqvio. That's Leqvio. Lower, longer, Leqvio.
At Cool Today, we've been keeping our customers cool since 1963. When your AC is broken, you don't want to wait for service, and you shouldn't. With our same-day comfort guarantee, we promise to be there within 4 hours or your service call is free. Our techs are ready to serve you now, guaranteed. We drive mobile warehouses, and we fix 95% of all AC problems on the same day. If your AC is broke, don't wait. We guarantee we'll be there within 4 hours. Visit CoolToday.com to book now.
CoolToday.com. Cpac is back, and Drew's there live. Now, more Daybreak from Dallas on 92.5 Fox News. Right, all along.
239-479-5592. That is the Brett AC Talk and Text line. We stream live. DrewSteele.com, the website. Steele has 3 E's. You can see us there. You can watch. You can see Mike Opelka with a jacket on and a tie.
I was wrong.
You were wrong about what?
Earlier today when I was speculating about Nancy Pelosi's motivation, I was wrong. I sit corrected.
All right, well, we're going to find out if I sit corrected. I am happy to say Gordon Chang with us here live at Cpac. We always love our visits with Gordon. And Gordon, for you, he wore a jacket and a tie.
And a tie.
Yeah, okay, then. I actually brought a tie with me. It's in the bag.
Okay.
I'll ask Lydia to come over, and I'll put it on just for the two of you.
No, I don't know. I like the one button down look. They say, yeah. So he just wanted to make sure that he was proper for you.
I always feel like I have to raise my game when Gordon's
I
here.
know. Well, you do. Well, you have to raise your knowledge of what's going on with Nancy Pelosi in Taiwan and China. This is what we have to get. We have to get the deets, as it were, as the kids say.
Gordon told me I was wrong. I mentioned to Gordon before we started into this that I speculated earlier that Nancy Pelosi's move to walk along the DMZ yesterday was kind of a political finger to Donald Trump, like neener, neener, neener. You did it, I did too.
And I've said that the reason for this visit just seems to be like legacy. Like this is just leaving a legacy, but at the same time, what is she leaving behind? And some would say, this is poking the bear, but they don't need to be poked. China doesn't need it, right?
Yeah, absolutely, Drew. There is right now Chinese troops deep into Indian-controlled territory. You have China trying to break apart the Philippines at Second Thomas Shoal in the South China Sea. In the East China Sea around the Senkakus, on Friday, Hallelujah Friday, what is it called?
Friday-luya.
Friday-luya. On the last Friday-luya, we had 4 Chinese warships loitering in Japanese territorial water in the East China Sea. Last couple of months, there's been an accelerated campaign of these dangerous intercepts in the air. So China's just striking out at everybody. And so Pelosi goes to Taiwan, and they throw a hissy fit. But a couple things. Mm-hmm. First of all, they would have done it anyway, whether, regardless who was going. But the point is, this is a much bigger crisis because of a guy named Joe Biden. If you go back to July 20, it was a Wednesday, Biden was speaking to reporters, and he said, look, the Pentagon doesn't think it's a good idea that she goes. So what was that saying to Beijing? It was saying to Beijing there is disagreement in the Biden administration and Washington about this, and it invited the Chinese to intimidate the speaker and the president. And that's exactly what happened. The dire-sounding threats just ramped up immediately after that. So the Chinese were invited in by Joe Biden. And by the way, who leaked her travel plans to the Financial Times? It wasn't Pelosi's staff. It probably was Biden. And that means he created this controversy.
It's hard to believe. When you look at this situation again, and the poking of and what Nancy Pelosi is doing and not doing, and the reasons why, I guess the other question for me is, how much of this was China finding out what they can get away with? Like, how much of it was kind of let's see what the administration does if we make these threats?
Absolutely. Yeah, I think that's very astute, Drew. And the reason is They saw what happened in Afghanistan, calamitous withdrawal.
Yeah.
They saw the complete failure to deter Vladimir Putin, even though we had much stronger country. We had the 27 nations of the European Union, United States, Great Britain. In 2021, last year, our economies were 25.1 times bigger than Russia's, and yet we failed to deter them in February. China saw that. And now you have this just disarray in the administration. Yeah, Beijing thinks it can do what it wants, and that's why things are so bad. Say what you will about President Trump. We had 4 years of peace around the world. This followed the disasters of Scarborough Shoal in the Philippines, plus, of course, Crimea in Ukraine in the Obama years. Trump comes in, you have a lot of people criticize his foreign policy, but there was peace. And now we've got war again, and we probably are on the path for a period of continual turbulence. In other words, this period of general peace, it's over.
Well, a lot of saber rattling, a lot of military exercises in the region, the encirclement, essentially encircling Taiwan.
Taiwan, yes.
With complete Chinese military, live firing of missiles. Will this escalate to that reunification project that China has sooner? Is that what we're feeling? And does that mean a kinetic war?
Well, we can't rule that out. Yesterday we saw, you were talking about those 6 live fire exclusion zones that completely surround Taiwan. And matter of fact, the exclusion zone to the southwest of Taiwan was so close to the main island that it actually impinged on territorial sovereign Taiwan airspace and water. Really provocative. And then yesterday they shoot off the 11 missiles. 5 of them end up in Japan's exclusive economic zone. I mean, this is real. China's taking on everybody at the same time. And that means, I can understand China picking on one country, sort of trying to bully them and get what they want. That sort of makes sense from Beijing's point of view. But what they're doing is they're taking on everyone at the same time. That doesn't make sense. And it really means that what you've got in China right now is probably some really severe problems in the political system. We don't know what they are, but we do see the symptoms of tension inside Beijing, inside the Communist Party.
Yeah. Gordon, how much of this and what we've talked about in the past is the economy and with the issues of Evergrande and all of the different things that have been happening economically with the country?
Yeah.
How much of this is that itself too, like almost what is happening there with the economy and the lashing out because of it?
I think that they're absolutely related. And a couple things. They've got, of course, the debt crisis. They've got too much debt. They don't have a solution. So they've got the big property companies, Evergrande, defaulting, and a lot of the other property companies going along with them. Then you have people not paying the banks on their mortgages because they buy these unfinished apartments. They have to pay the full price. And they say, well, these apartments are never going to get finished because these companies are going bankrupt. So essentially what you've got now are people across China not paying their mortgages. The suppliers to the property companies aren't paying their mortgages. Then you have bank runs because the banks don't have cash. So yeah, this is occurring all at the same time, and I don't think it's a coincidence. Because one thing, Drew, people say, and a lot of smart people in Washington will say, look, the Communist Party's #1 foreign policy goal is to take Taiwan. And on the surface, that sounds right, but it's wrong. The #1 foreign policy goal of the Communist Party, the most important by far. No other foreign policy goal matters. The #1 foreign policy goal of the Communist Party is maintenance of Communist Party rule. So if you got problems inside, which we do now, the party doesn't have any answer to them. The party's being blamed. Party can't blame anybody else for what's going on. Yeah, and they start to act up across all their borders. Well, yeah, it's probably related, and I think it's lashing out.
Yeah.
So does that conflict that's being created everywhere, pretty much, where China is, especially in the region, does that conflict, if it becomes kinetic or even more intense, is that the unification call that is then brought in to strengthen or congeal the policy? Second time I used congeal today.
I knew it.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think the reason what you have right now is the possibility of accident. So just to take not to get too nerdy.
No, we love
I am
the nerdy.
But
welcome.
The point, I'll just give you an example of how bad things are and how they can really go kinetic. Because a lot of people say, oh no, they'll never start a war. Okay, on May 26th, in international airspace over the South China Sea, a Chinese fighter crossed the nose of an Australian P-8 reconnaissance craft. That's really, really dangerous. But China did something that no other military has ever done before. They fired flares at the P-8 and they released chaff. Chaff is like aluminum foil. It confuses radar. And so the Chinese craft releases chaff in front of the P-8. Some of that chaff gets ingested into one of the two engines of the P-8, and that could have meant the plane went down. Now, fortunately, it didn't, but the point is that could have been the loss of that plane and the crew, and that could have been the start of a war. Because once that happens, you have an escalatory cycle, and there's no stopping that. So that's how this can really get out of control.
One rogue pilot does a stunt by crossing a reconnaissance plane, which is not a military, it's not an armed plane.
It's not armed. Yeah, it's not unarmed.
It's taking pictures, and it releases this chaff, and had it taken it down, that could have been the trigger right there.
Yeah, that shows you, it's a little incident, not reported until well after the event, and that's how these things can escalate.
So then here comes the tough question. Maybe this will be the last question before we go to break.
I'm going to hold on to my chair.
All right, here comes the
buckle
not
up.
really.
I'm going to buckle up.
It's not the tough question for you, but it's the tough
it is
question
a tough
for
question
all of
for
us.
me.
And here's what it is. How prepared are we to fight a battle on that front? We don't have an air base now in Afghanistan, a place that we could have launched from, that we would have there. How much can we get to the region in order to be able to confront if there were that? It seems difficult.
Yeah, China has more assets in the region than we do because we've got worldwide responsibilities, and our Navy is actually, if you look at the number of bottoms, we have a smaller Navy than China. Now, we've got more tonnage in our Navy, but the point is we're not all of there in Asia. And matter of fact, Biden, for some very good reasons, took some assets out of Asia and put them along the Ukraine border, which I think was a good thing. But the point is it makes us less ready to fight in Asia. But a couple of other things. We have a military that's broken. It is, all the services are broken, and it's not just the woke training. They're just not prepared for this. Because you've got, for instance, a Navy which, even before Biden took the oath of office, was broken, really seriously broken. You got an Air Force in trouble, and you got a Pentagon that is thinking, if we fight China, it's going to be only in the 2027, 2035 timeframe. Well, hello. And by the way, the service chiefs are taking out ships, they're taking out planes because they want to pay for the modernization for the next force. Well, the point is, we're going to have to fight these guys now, not 2035. So we are doing things to make ourselves less ready. We've got generals and admirals who are making us ill-prepared to deal with the problems right now.
But hasn't China also, you bring up that time frame, hasn't China also said something about that the 2037, that year, that time frame, that spot in history where that's when everything comes together for them?
They use the year 2035 for certain reasons, like they use the year 2049, which would be the 100th anniversary of the founding of the People's Republic. You always have dates that come up. Okay. And besides, we shouldn't be listening to, their timetable. We should be thinking about, what the hell is happening on the ground. Right. And we've really got some problems there because these guys can take us by surprise. They calculate their interests very differently than we do. I think we don't understand the problems inside China. We sort of see stability there where there really isn't. So I can't say, of course, that there's going to be a war in a couple of years, but I can say we need to damn well be prepared for war in a couple of years, because if we're not, we will have one.
Right.
Better to have it and not need it than to need it and not have it.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely.
No doubt. All right, we've got to run. Gordon Chang with us on Daybreak 92.5 Fox News, and it's always a pleasure to see you.
No karaoke?
No, and I'm going to get my tie. Even though this is over, I just got to get my tie to make sure you understand that I do respect the both of you.
We know that.
You are the best.
Yeah,
you are
absolutely
the
are.
absolute best.
All right, and we'll speak again soon. All the best. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks, guys.
All right, we'll see you. All right, that's going to do it for our broadcast from Cpac 22, Texas. This is going to wrap it up. Matt Whitaker right there. All right, so any last words before we go for the audience as we finish up this fantastic visit?
I am not a rhino.
You are not a rhino.
I might be on occasion a girly man, as that listener accused me of being a rhino girly man. I refute that. So bring it on.
You are sensitive.
I am
One
not.
person texts.
I'm not paranoid. Who told you I was?
I did. Actually, John Cassio did. Last word from the program director.
Friday-luya to you.
Friday-luya. All right, last word from John Cassio. Last word. Here we go. Program director. Make it count.
Let's wrap it up. Glenn Beck is next.
Great mic technique.
Okay, that was fantastic. Great mic technique. We appreciate it. I'm okay. I'm not going to have any more kids anytime soon. Stay break. 92.5 Fox News. Right all along.
When listening to the radio in your car, remember to always drive on the right side of the road. Keep it here on 92.5 Fox News. Right all along.
Top Gun.